Welcome to this life-changing video. Today we're not just talking about decisions. We're talking about your entire life. Because your life is nothing but a series of decisions. Every friend you made, every job you took, every mistake you regret, every success you're proud of. All of them started with one thing, a decision. So today, I want to teach you something that will change your future forever. Something that will help you make the right decision every single time. This video is not for people who want shortcuts. It's for people who are ready to take control of their mind, their emotions, their time, and make decisions like powerful, focused, unstoppable people. Let me ask you something. Have you ever made a stupid decision late at night? Or agreed to something just to avoid overthinking? Or bought something random, then regretted it the next day? That's not because you're weak. It's because of something called decision fatigue. Let me explain. What is decision fatigue? Imagine your brain has a battery. Every time you make a decision, even a small one, that battery goes down. What should I wear? What should I eat? Should I reply to this message? Should I watch one more video? Should I check my ex's profile? Should I speak up or stay quiet? Each decision drains your energy, and when your battery is low, you start making bad decisions. Not because you're bad, but because your brain is tired. Let me give you a real example. A study was done on judges. Real judges in court. It showed that people who appeared early in the day had a much higher chance of getting parole. But people who appeared late in the day, after lunch, got almost no chance. Why? Because the judges were tired. Their brain said, "Let's play it safe. Just say no." That's decision fatigue in real life, and it's ruining your life silently. So, what's the solution? To make right decisions, you need a clear mind, a full battery, a strong system, and a few powerful rules. Tip 1. Automate the small. Focus on the big. You don't need to take 50 decisions every day. That's a trap. That's how your energy dies. Smart people automate. Powerful people simplify. Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every day. Why? To avoid wasting brain power on something that doesn't matter. Now, you may not wear the same thing daily, but you can make your life easier by automating the small stuff. Here's what you can automate. Your morning routine. Your weekly meals. Your clothes for work. Your night routine. Your workout schedule. Your study hours. Why? Because every time you remove a small decision, you gain more power to make the right big decision. Imagine your brain has a limited number of good decisions per day. Don't waste them on which cereal or which shirt. Save that power for, should I quit this job? Should I end this relationship? Should I take this opportunity? That's how you become a powerful decision maker. Take a deep breath. Look around your life. Ask yourself, what decisions am I making every day that don't even matter? Now remove them, automate them, simplify them. Because the real battles of life are not about your breakfast. They're about your future. Tip 2. Choose long-term peace, not short-term pleasure. Most people make decisions for quick happiness. They want to feel good right now, so they pick the easiest path. They eat junk, quit early, spend money they don't have, or stay in a toxic relationship just to avoid loneliness. But here's the truth. Short-term pleasure often creates long-term pain. Long-term peace often comes from short-term discomfort. When you choose what feels easy now, you're usually borrowing happiness from your future self. But when you choose what's right now, you're gifting peace to your future self. Imagine two friends, Ryan and Leo. Both want to start a business. Ryan spends his nights watching shows, scrolling, relaxing, because he says, "I'll do it tomorrow." Leo spends his nights studying, working, saving money, while his friends go out. For a few months, Ryan feels happy, and Leo feels tired. But a year later, Leo's company grows, and Ryan still says, "Someday." That's the difference between pleasure now and peace later. So before any big decision, ask yourself, will this give me peace in 1 year, or just pleasure tonight? If it gives you peace, it's the right decision. If it only gives you pleasure, it's a trap. Because real peace always beats temporary pleasure. Tip 3. Use the 10-10-10 rule before every big decision. This rule will protect you from emotional mistakes for the rest of your life. It's simple, but powerful. Whenever you face a tough decision, pause and ask 3 questions. How will I feel about this in 10 minutes? How will I feel about this in 10 months? How will I feel about this in 10 years? In 10 minutes, you might still be emotional. In 10 months, that emotion will fade. In 10 years, only the consequence of your choice will remain. This rule helps you zoom out and see the bigger picture. You're angry at your best friend. You want to send a harsh message right now. But if you stop and ask, how will I feel about this in 10 minutes, 10 months, and 10 years? You'll realize, in 10 minutes, you'll feel proud you didn't react. In 10 months, your friendship will still be alive. In 10 years, you'll thank yourself for staying calm. That's the power of distance. It separates emotion from wisdom. So next time you feel pressure to act fast, use the 10-10-10 rule. It will turn chaos into clarity. It will help you see your future before you destroy it. Tip 4. Never make decisions. When you're tired, emotional, or late at night, let's be honest. Most people don't make bad decisions because they're stupid. They make bad decisions because they were simply tired, emotional, stressed, overthinking, or it was late at night. You don't need a perfect brain to make good decisions. You just need the right moment. And most people choose the wrong one. Let's break it down. Imagine your brain is like a phone. When it's 100% charged, it's fast, focused, and clear. When it's below 10%, it freezes, lags, shuts down. That's exactly what happens to your mind. Every little decision throughout the day, what to eat, how to reply, what to wear, should I scroll or sleep? All of it drains your mental battery. So when it's finally time to make a big choice, like, should I leave this job? Or should I forgive them? Your battery is already dead. And what happens when the battery is dead? You start thinking emotionally, not wisely. You say yes when you should say no. You say no when you should say wait. You panic, you break, you run, you settle, you shout, you quit, and the worst part? You don't even realize it until the next morning. There's a reason why people cry at night, why they send long emotional messages at 2 a.m., why they think their life is over, their dream is dead, or their relationship is doomed. After midnight. It's not because it's true. It's because your brain at night is not your real brain. It's tired, it's foggy, it's emotional. Have you ever made a big decision at night? And then the next morning you thought, what the hell was I thinking? That's the difference between a tired mind and a fresh mind. So, what should you do? When your emotions are high, when your body is tired, when your heart is racing, When your mind is cloudy, do nothing. Pause, breathe, sleep. Let the storm pass. Say this powerful sentence: I will not decide anything tonight. I will decide in the morning, when I'm clear, calm, and strong. This one rule can save your relationships, your peace, your reputation, your goals, and even your future. Let's say you're angry with someone. It could be your partner, your best friend, your boss. You want to send a long, emotional message. You want to fight. You want to quit. You want to say, I'm done. It feels like the right thing to do in that moment. But that moment is not real clarity. That's decision fatigue plus emotion plus nighttime. You go to bed angry. You wake up the next morning and read that unsent message. Suddenly, everything is different. Your heart is lighter. Your mind is calmer. You think, I'm so glad I didn't send that. That's the power of waiting. Never trust your thoughts when your body is tired. Never trust your feelings when your mind is loud. Never decide when the world is dark. Wait for the sun. Because the decision you delay today might save your future tomorrow. Tip 5. Don't make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. Let me say something hard. Some people ruin their lives in 5 minutes because they couldn't control their emotions. A man shouts something he can never take back. A woman leaves the job she actually needed. A teenager blocks their parent in anger. A friend deletes years of memories over one fight. A person burns down their dream just because they felt lost for a few days. Not because they're bad people, but because they made a permanent decision during a temporary emotion. Let me make this clear. You are allowed to feel everything: anger, fear, sadness, confusion, loneliness, frustration, even rage. All of it is human. All of it is okay. But here's the rule. Feel everything. Decide nothing. Why? Because emotions are like storms. They come, they shake you, and they leave. But if you build something during a storm, like a decision, a choice, a message, or a move, it will never be stable. You have a partner you deeply love. You have a strong bond, but one day you fight badly. In anger, you say things you don't mean. You slam the door. You say, it's over. You block them. You cry. You feel powerful. You feel hurt. 2 weeks later, you sit alone with a heavy heart. The emotion is gone, but the damage is still there. Now you're not angry. Now you're full of regret. All of this could have been avoided. If you followed just one rule: never make a forever decision during a temporary emotion. You have a job you've worked hard for. You're frustrated, overworked, underpaid. One day your boss says something that pushes you over the edge. You say, I quit. You don't have a backup plan. You don't have savings. You leave. And it feels good for a moment. But weeks later, reality hits. Now you feel stupid, scared, lost. Why? Because the decision was made during an emotional high, not with logical thinking. When the emotion is loud, sit still. When your heart is shaking, write, don't act. When the world feels broken, sleep. When you feel like reacting, respond by waiting. Use this rule like a command. If I feel strong emotions, I will not trust my brain. Wait 24 hours. Let your feelings settle. Let your logic return. Then decide. 1 second of silence can save you from 10 years of regret. 1 night of sleep can protect your entire future. 1 decision made with wisdom can change your whole life. So don't kill your destiny because of a mood. Your emotions are not your enemy, but they are not your compass either. Choose clarity, not chaos. Choose patience, not panic. choose life, not impulse. Tip 6. Flip the decision. Pretend it's someone else's problem. Have you ever noticed something strange? When it's your problem, you're confused. But when it's your friend's problem, you suddenly know exactly what they should do. Why does this happen? Because when you're inside the problem, your vision is emotional. But when you're outside the problem, your vision is clear. That's why one of the most powerful tools for decision-making is this: flip the situation. Let's say you're stuck in a difficult situation. You're not sure if you should quit your job. You're not sure if the person you're dating is right for you. You're confused about whether to say yes to an opportunity or not. You're emotionally tired, scared, and afraid of making the wrong choice. At that moment, instead of thinking like you, imagine your best friend came to you and said, "Hey, I'm in this exact situation. What should I do?" Now suddenly you're not confused. Your brain becomes calm. Your advice becomes clear. Your heart feels wise. Because when it's not your emotion, you see the truth. Imagine this. Your younger sister comes to you and says, "I'm with a guy who lies to me, disappears for days, but I love him. I don't know what to do." What would you tell her? You'd say, "Leave. You deserve better. Love isn't supposed to hurt like that." You'd say it immediately, without confusion, without hesitation. Now imagine, you are in the exact same relationship, but you keep doubting, waiting, forgiving, hoping, delaying. Why? Because your emotions are blinding you. But when it was your sister's problem, you saw the answer in seconds. From now on, whenever you're stuck and can't see the right decision, pretend someone you love is in this same situation. Imagine they're asking you for advice. Whatever you would tell them is the truth you need to hear. It's not magic. It's not fake. It's just distance from your own emotion. And distance gives you wisdom. When you can't see clearly, change the perspective. When your feelings scream, listen to your logic through someone else's story. The advice you give to others is often the truth you're afraid to accept yourself. So next time your heart is loud and your head is lost, flip the question. Give yourself the love, clarity, and truth you'd give your best friend. That's the decision you were looking for. Tip 7. Create your personal rule and filter every decision through it. Here's the final tip, and it is the most powerful of all. If you follow this for the rest of your life, you will never be lost again. You cannot control the world. You cannot control every situation, every opportunity, every person. But you can control how you make decisions. By creating your own life rule, or non-negotiables. These are your standards, your values, your compass, your invisible protection. And once you create it, you filter every single decision through it. Ask yourself this question: what are 3 things I will never compromise on in my life, no matter what? 1. I will only choose what gives me long-term peace. 2. I will never do something that destroys my mental health. 3. I will always stay honest, even if it's hard. Now, every time you're offered a job, a relationship, a risk, an opportunity, you don't decide emotionally. You simply ask, does this pass my rule? If the answer is yes to all 3, you move forward with full confidence. If the answer is no to even 1, you walk away. No doubt, no regret, no confusion, because it removes decision fatigue. You no longer have to ask 10 people for advice. You no longer get stuck overthinking. You no longer say yes to things that ruin your life slowly. You don't follow the crowd. You follow your core values. And people who live like this are calm, unstoppable, focused, respected, rare. They don't chase everything. They don't fear missing out because they know who they are. And they only do what matches that. Let's say you get a job offer. High pay, big title. But it involves working for someone who lies, manipulates, and drains your soul. Now, emotionally, it feels like a great opportunity. But when you apply your rule, it doesn't give peace. It damages your mental health. It goes against your values. You walk away. And guess what? A year later, you'll be proud you did. Because you didn't sell your peace for paper. You didn't trade your truth for temporary rewards. You chose strength. You chose clarity. You chose yourself. When the world pulls you in every direction, let your rule guide you. When everyone is chasing success, let your rule protect your peace. When your heart is confused, let your rule remind you who you are. Write your rule. Memorize it. Use it. And you'll never make a decision you regret again. Because strong people don't follow pressure. They follow their personal compass. Tip 8. Say no fast, so you can say yes with power. Let me tell you a deep truth. You don't need more options. You need more clarity. Most people say yes to everything because they don't want to disappoint others, feel pressure to please, fear missing out, don't want to look rude, are afraid of losing opportunities. But here's the painful reality. Every weak yes creates strong regret. When you say yes too easily, you join things you don't believe in. You spend time on people who drain you. You take on work that burns you out. You make promises that destroy your peace. You fill your day with noise and lose space for what matters. Let's say your cousin invites you to a weekend party. You're tired. You have a big exam. You're behind on your goals. But you feel guilty. So you say yes. You go. You feel fake. You smile when you want to rest. You come back more tired, more behind, and more frustrated. You didn't say yes because it was right. You said yes because you didn't know how to say no. If it's not a clear yes, it's a clear no. They don't explain. They don't overthink. They protect their time, energy, and brain like treasure. And because of that, when the right opportunity comes, they have full energy, full focus, full presence. Saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes you responsible. It means you respect your boundaries. You respect your time. You respect your life mission. It's better to say no now than to say, I regret it later. Next time someone asks you something, and pause. Ask yourself, if I say yes to this, what am I saying no to? Because every yes is also a no to something else. Your rest, your health, your goals, your priorities, your mental space. People who say yes to everything end up with nothing. People who say no to what's wrong make space for the life they truly want. So, from today, don't say yes to guilt. Don't say yes to pressure. Don't say yes just to avoid conflict. Say yes only when your soul says, this matches who I want to become. Tip 9. Your life is the result of the last 5 big decisions. Own them. This tip will wake people up like lightning. Most people feel like their life is out of control. They say, I don't know how I got here. Everything feels messy. My life just happened. But here's the brutal truth. Your life didn't just happen. It was built decision by decision. You are living inside the result of your last 5 big choices. Let's pause right now. Think deeply. What were the last 5 major decisions you made in life? The person you chose to love or trust? The job you said yes to? the city you moved to, the habit you started or gave up, the goal you chased or stopped chasing, the people you let stay in your life or didn't remove. Now look at your life today, your peace, your pain, your progress. They are all connected to those 5 decisions. That's not bad news. It's power. Because if your decisions built your life, then your next 5 decisions can rebuild it too. That means you don't need permission. You don't need to wait. You don't need to stay stuck. You just need to decide differently. Imagine someone named Alex. 3 years ago, he chose to stay in a job he hated. He dated someone who wasn't honest. He stopped going to the gym. He started using social media for 5 hours daily. He said no to a chance to start his own project. Today, Alex feels lost. But he doesn't realize. It wasn't bad luck. It was 5 decisions. But if today, Alex chooses to leave the job, to cut the wrong relationship, to start walking every morning, to uninstall distractions, to take that online course he's been delaying, then 3 years from now, everything will change. That's the power of decision ownership. Most people live by accident. They flow with the crowd. They follow comfort. They wait for someday, but someday never comes. If you want to live a life that feels peaceful, powerful, and proud, you must make decisions on purpose. Every yes you say, every no you say, every morning you wake up and choose something. That is you designing your future. Your life is not built by luck. It's built by choice. Your pain was a choice. Your peace can be too. Your regret came from a decision. So will your freedom. From today, stop running. Look back at your last 5 choices. Own them. Learn from them. Then say, my next 5 decisions will be powerful, clean, and mine. Because your next 5 choices will decide your next 5 years. Choose wisely. Tip 10. Ask this powerful question. What would future me thank me for? Let me tell you something most people never think about. Every decision you make today is either a gift or a burden to the person you'll become tomorrow. Your future self is always watching. Watching what you eat. Watching who you trust. Watching what you say yes to. Watching how you use your time. Watching who you become. And here's the deep truth. The pain you feel today is not from the past. It's from the you that didn't think about the future. This is how most people make decisions. I feel bored, so I'll scroll. I feel lonely, so I'll text my ex. I feel lazy, so I'll skip the gym. I feel sad, so I'll eat more. I feel pressured, so I'll say yes. But right now doesn't care about the future. And when tomorrow comes, you carry the weight of today's decision. That's why this tip is so powerful. Before you choose anything, ask, will future me thank me for this or hate me for it? Imagine you're deciding whether to waste the entire evening watching random videos or study for an exam. The lazy part of your brain says, relax, enjoy, you've had a long day. But pause and ask, what would the future me, the one sitting in the exam hall, want me to do tonight? That version of you will beg, please prepare. Please don't betray me again. Please do the right thing. Please think of me. And if you do the right thing, your future self will sit in that exam and smile, saying, thank you. Thank you for not being weak when it mattered. You know what's beautiful? Your future self already knows the right decision. Why? Because that version of you has already felt the regret, felt the consequences, felt the rewards, felt the freedom. So when you connect to that version, you see clearly. This is not about fear. It's about self-love, loving yourself enough to protect who you'll become. Every time you're stuck in a decision, try this simple exercise. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself 6 months from now. Picture them looking at you. Ask, what would that version of me beg me to do right now? Then, do it. Don't betray them. Don't hurt them. Don't weaken them. Because that future person is you, and they're counting on your decision. You don't just make choices. You make consequences. You don't just pick what feels easy. You build what you live with. So next time you're confused, say out loud, I don't live for right now. I live for who I'm becoming. That one sentence can rewrite your future. Tip 11. When in doubt, choose growth over comfort. Let me ask you something honest. How many times have you said no to something deep down you knew was good for you? Just because it scared you? Because it felt uncomfortable? Because it stretched you? Because it pushed your identity? That's the trap of comfort. Comfort is beautiful in small doses. But when you start making decisions only to feel safe, your life begins to shrink. You stay in the wrong job. You stay with the wrong people. You avoid challenges. You never take risks. You protect your ego. You delay growth. And slowly, you become a prisoner of your comfort zone. If a decision makes you nervous, but also excited, stretched, and alive, that's the right one. That's the path of growth. But if a decision makes you feel safe, lazy, and stuck, that's comfort talking. And comfort will steal your greatness silently. Let's say you have the chance to speak on stage, or post your first video online. You feel terrified. Your brain says, what if I fail? What will people say? What if I'm not good enough? That's comfort trying to protect your past identity. But your future identity is waiting on the other side of that fear. So you ask, will this grow me? If the answer is yes, that's your decision. Growth always feels scary before it feels powerful. That's how it works. They're hard because they require courage. They threaten your old self. They destroy your excuses. They change your relationships. They force you to level up. But they are also the only way to become the person you were born to be. If you only choose what's easy, you'll live the same year 75 times and call it a life. Ask this whenever you're stuck. Does this decision make me grow or keep me small? If it makes you grow, do it. Even if it's hard. Even if you're not ready. Even if you feel like running away. Because growth is the doorway to your future. Don't chase comfort. Chase change. Don't fear the stretch. Fear the standstill. Don't stay small just because it's warm. The right decision is often the harder one. But it's also the one that makes you stronger, wiser, bolder, freer. So from now on, every time you feel fear, ask yourself, am I afraid or am I growing? Then step forward and watch your entire life change. Tip 12. Slow down when it feels rushed. Speed up when it feels right. Let's talk about something that ruins people's lives silently. Not because they're weak, not because they're foolish, but because they were rushed. You've felt it before. Hurry, take the offer now. If you don't say yes now, it's gone forever. Everyone is watching. Decide quickly. The clock is ticking. Don't miss your chance. This is how people get trapped. This is how they say yes to jobs, loans, relationships, investments, situations that destroy them later. They didn't choose from peace. They chose from pressure. The right decision never comes from panic. It comes from presence. If someone is rushing you, pause. If your mind is racing, breathe. If the world says now or never, choose never unless your heart says yes with calm. Because the fastest way to regret is to say yes too fast. Let's say you're offered a partnership in a business. The offer looks tempting. You're excited. But they say, you must decide today. Otherwise, we'll give it to someone else. Your heart races. You want to say yes. But inside, something feels off. That's your inner wisdom saying, slow down, ask questions, think deeply. But if you ignore it and say yes in the rush, you might wake up a year later stuck in a disaster. So here's the rule. If it feels forced, pause. If it feels peaceful, proceed. Fire is fast, loud, hot, dangerous. Water is calm, clear, steady, powerful. Make decisions like water. When it feels rushed, you're not thinking clearly. When it feels peaceful, your truth is speaking. When it feels manipulated, it's a trap. When it feels aligned, it's right. Take your time when others want you to go fast. And when your soul says, this is right, don't delay. Not every fast opportunity is a good one, and not every slow decision is weak. Slow down when things feel pushed. Speed up when your spirit says go. Your timing will protect your destiny. Tip 13. Remove options that shouldn't even be there. This tip is a secret weapon. It's not just about choosing between option A or B. It's about realizing sometimes the best decision is to remove both options. Most people stay confused because they're choosing between two bad options. Should I stay in this toxic job or be unemployed? Should I marry this person I don't love or be alone forever? Should I cheat a little to win or stay poor? Should I lie to protect myself or lose everything? They suffer because they don't realize there's always a third option, the one your heart is afraid to imagine. Sometimes the right decision is to walk away from both choices, to wait and build a better path, to raise your standards, to remove the pressure entirely, to say, these are not my only two choices. You don't owe anyone an answer based on a bad question. Imagine someone named Mia. She's been in a painful relationship for years. She knows it's not right. Her partner lies, controls her, and drains her energy. But she keeps asking herself, should I stay and be unhappy? Or leave and be alone forever? She's stuck, not because there's no solution, but because her question is broken. She needs to realize there's a third path. Heal, grow, rebuild herself, and one day meet someone who truly sees her. That option isn't instant, but it's real. The others are just traps made by fear. Your brain can only decide based on what it's shown. If all you see are two bad doors, you'll walk through one, thinking it's the only way. So here's the powerful shift. If no option gives you peace, don't choose. Wait, learn, grow, create a new option. That's not weakness, that's mastery. Ask these questions before you choose. Am I choosing between fear and fear? What would I do if I wasn't scared? What option would I choose if I believed I deserved better? Is this choice making me smaller or freer? Sometimes it's not about picking the better choice. It's about removing the wrong ones altogether. Stop forcing yourself to choose between stress and sadness. You are allowed to say, this isn't the life I want. I will wait. I will build better. I will choose again. Sometimes the most powerful decision is to say, none of the above, and walk toward a future only you can see. So now you know. Your life is not built by chance, not by luck, not by dreams. Your life is built by decisions. Tiny, silent, invisible decisions. Made when no one is watching. Made when you're scared. Made when you're tired. Made when you're about to give up. But every time you choose, peace over panic, growth over comfort, truth over pressure, purpose over pleasure, you don't just make a better decision, you become a better person. So from today, stop waiting, stop avoiding, stop running. Decide. Decide with clarity. Decide with courage. Decide with love for your future self. Because one powerful decision, made with full truth, can rewrite your whole story. And if this video helped you, if it made you pause, if it made you reflect, if it spoke to your soul, then don't just watch it, own it. Let this be the moment you say, from today, I live with intention. I choose my path. I protect my peace. Subscribe to this channel, to speak truth, to build you up, to remind you that your life is still yours to shape. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. This helped me. Share this with someone who's stuck in confusion right now. Because together, we're not just making content. We're making clarity. We're making change. We're making the new version of you. And it all starts with one powerful decision.